Hello. I have a very special occasion happening today. I'm in Sylvan Lake, and I have this fabulous romance author sitting right beside me. Look, we're not on Zoom. We are so close we can touch and hug. It's fantastic. And I have I coerced you into answering some questions for me? I'm not really sure what the word is.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit of coercion.
I am Katie O'Connor. I am a romance author from Calgary, Alberta. I have 31, it's mental math is hard, 31 romances and one book on planning your romance writer's career.
So as a romance novelist, could you ever pick your favorite romance? And if you have, what might that be?
I've been thinking about this quite hard in the half an hour warning I had before this interview happened. And the answer I came up with, I don't know that I have a favorite book. My favorite author, my immediate buy as soon as it is released, is Kelly Moran. And my favorite series that she's written so far is her Phantoms trilogy.
And why is that?
They're different. They involve paranormal, sort of like ghost hunters, I guess. And they've really stuck with me, the conflicts they get into and the way that things are resolved and the little excitements that happen. I just really enjoyed them.
Kind of find it fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh and exciting. Do you have a top pick for a trait of a lead in romance?
A top pick? They have to be an alpha male without being an alpha hole. I don't go for the bully romances or the mob romances. I want strong, traditional men who are mechanically minded. I do a lot of blue-collar heroes. And they have to be generous and giving and not selfish. That doesn't work for me either.
Right.
Tough guys.
But not too tough, right?
Yeah,
not too tough.
Not jerk tough, but tough with that squishy underbelly.
Moira and I had this conversation that if a lead is kind of jerky, but if they kind of declare their jerkiness, does that makes them more endearing to the reader? Thoughts?
You have to show me right up front that they might think they're a jerk, but they've got that little soft, they got to rescue the kitten or help the little kid find its ball or something nice, so I know right up front that they're not all bad.
Right. Got to know their core a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite conflict in romance?
I don't know if I have a favorite conflict. I like the conflict to be more about the characters than about circumstances or family. I sort of get tired of romances that are featured on, well, we can't get together because your family said this about my family. Or,
Romeo and Juliet? No.
Yeah, no. I like things that are personal to the characters, but no real preference. I read a lot. I probably read 200 books a year.
Holy moly.
I read every day.
I read every day.
I read every day, and I read fast.
Do you have a website, for example, where people could find your books or information about you? Website, social, whatever.
Katie O writes as well.
Find Katie O there. Find Katie O on the web. Just search her, find her, try to read 200 books a year, figure out your favorite lead, favorite lead characteristics, favorite lead, not lead conflicts, just conflicts.
Yep.
Write comments. If you read that other author she was talking about, put it in comments. Yep. If you read Katie O's, put it in comments.
Tell me which is your favorite.
We want to know what your favorite is.
Because my favorite is Christmas in Silver Creek. I think it's not my most popular book, but I think it's the best book I've written, and I really love it. I think everybody should read it.
Do you reread your own work?
I try not to.
No, because you read it so much when you were writing it.
Well, I'm a binge writer. I write hard and fast and get a lot of words, and then I edit a lot.
Yeah,
like a dozen edits per book.
So she's read it a lot of times by the time you have read it.
So I don't want to read it again.
She doesn't want to read it again. Oh, the words comfort you like a blanket. Hey, will you reread a book in your 200 that you read a year?
I have a couple of non-romance series that I read probably every second year. I read Anne McCaffrey's Dragons every few years. So I sit down and binge from all of them from end to end. And a lot of Robert Heinlein's books I read with. So I know, not romance at all.
No. Do you find that romance authors sometimes don't read romance? They just like to write it?
You know what? I heard that. I heard a rumor that neither you nor Moira
That's our secret.
read much romance, and I cannot fathom that. I love reading it. I love writing it. I love watching it.
Yeah, I love
have
watching
a
it.
very strong masculine hero of a husband who has zero romance in his soul,
That's why you write it.
but he's a great guy.
That's why you write it, maybe.
That's right.
Because you know it's there somewhere.
It is there somewhere. I like to visually eavesdrop on people. You know what?
Oh, I love
I
that
know.
phrase. Visually eavesdrop.
Watch them walk. Those people down there walking down the street that are, holding hands or stop to look at right in each other's eyes and talk to each other. It's like
And then you write their story.
I do. I make up stories about people all the time.
This is so good. To the root of things.
I gotta tell you, I did a funny story. I was in a public washroom one time. I could hear this lady in the stall next to me, and she was on the phone with her daughter, and it became obvious after a few minutes that she was having an affair, and her daughter found out. So I had to see her, and she left before the conversation was over. And
You're walking out with
and I
your
wanted to
pants.
hear the rest of the conversation. I was in such a rush to follow her that I left my purse sitting on the edge in the bathroom, and I went to pay for my stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, where's my wallet? Some kind person turned it in, but I was literally eavesdropping.
But for the right
For
story.
a moment, it was a little bit scary. But
no
it was
kidding.
entertaining.
But did you get the whole story?
No, I didn't. She was gone. She was
so
too
it wasn't
fast.
even worth it. Too bad. But I bet you made up a good story.
I haven't used it yet, but I
You
think I
have to
will.
use it. You have to use it. And then when we're talking about it, whenever that's done,
Okay.
you can say, this was inspired by that
Yeah,
toilet
but it's-
experience I
well,
had.
It was fascinating to listen to the one side of the conversation. It's not something I would use in a book. I don't like cheating as a trope.
That's got to be useful somehow.
Yeah.
You went to great lengths and risked your wallet.
I
I
did.
It has to be useful somehow.
Maybe I could have the heroine doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See?
could be
Ideas
done.
come from everywhere.
that's right. They do.
I would like to thank you so much for chitter-chattering today.
Well, thanks for having me. I know it's lovely to meet you again.
Lovely to meet you
Since
too.
I've only met you for 5 minutes.
I know. I have these short relationships that just go on and on. Anyway, thank you so much.
You're very
Happy
welcome.
writing, happy reading.